Hello, both Deborah and I decided to do a little sharing this morning. It's all going to be ad-libbed and nothing is planned. One thing I'd like to mention too is that I get a lot of emails every morning from people, and today it seems that the one subject was low self-worth. You know, jealousy, feelings of I'm not good enough. So what I'd like to we're going to talk about now is the importance of knowing your self-worth. It's not something you're going to achieve, it's not something you're going to get. It's something that you already are. Because one thing is sure, you are loved. And how do I know you are loved? Because ask yourself, don't you like to be appreciated? Don't you like to be recognized? Don't you want to be like the feeling of being noticed? You know, anyway, so these are all the needs that we have for love is because our very nature is that itself. So what do you say about that?
It's my favorite subject.
Yes.
um, in my channelings and in my sessions, that's always the subject. It always comes down to love, loving yourself. I mean, imagine a person loving themselves absolutely completely. They would never harm anybody. They would never do anything that didn't feel good to them. So when you're not loving yourself, when you're not appreciating who you are, things like jealousy and low self-worth are predominant in your life. And I just want a little sidebar here. I'm talking completely from my own personal experience. And I've struggled most of my life with low self-worth, not feeling good, feeling very sensitive about what people think of me, caring what people think of me. Um, I just want to share a personal story. I went through a situation where I felt betrayed by a friend. And I was talking to my 9-year-old son. And he listened to me very intently. And he said, Mom, you know, you are always telling me not to care what anyone thinks of me. And it seems to me that you carry very much what people think of me, what people think of you. And it really hit me. When you know truth, it really hit me. And I realized that's exactly what I was doing, is I was caring what other people think of me. Not that in the sense that we're insensitive to what other people feel. It's more, it was giving me my self-worth when people say, oh, Deb, you're beautiful, or you're doing this well. And that made me feel good. And when I didn't get that, I didn't feel good. So I've realized through Burt's teachings and all the teachings that I've read and watched, and through meditation, of course, which is one of the most important things to do, to learn to love yourself, I've learned that loving myself means that I am connecting to who I really am, which is God, which I like using the word love instead of God, actually. I don't think I ever told you that. To me, God is love. So
Right.
love is the most important thing. Love is what I connect to when I meditate and when I tune in.
Mm-hmm.
I,
That's
yeah.
so beautiful.
Thank
Yeah.
you.
I love your experience. Yeah. Yeah. One thing I've learned, and to make it very simple, is that there are so many emotions, but it all boils down to love or fear. And whenever something is missing in love, it's because there is some kind of fear, uncertainty, insecurity, doubt, and so on. And any form of discomfort is really a lack of love. And loving yourself has nothing to do with ego. It is simply realizing that the very nature of you is that very love. We're only happy when we are loving your job, loving your family, loving your lover. Um, Love in every case of the word, you know, having a hobby, an interest, whatever. This is the very nature of your being. When love is missing, there's an immediate feeling of something is lacking, and the discomfort comes in, the self-consciousness comes in. Then it doesn't mean that there's something wrong with you. It means that at the moment you are not feeling your true nature. And your true nature is really unconditional love. Um, I'd like to go into a little bit more about unconditional love,
Mm-hmm.
because that means there are no conditions, and that is the one thing we want more than anything. I always use an example of the child who is always troublesome, and the mother is always yelling at him. And the more she yells at him to be better, to be good, the worse he gets. And so, if you were to ask this young person, what is it that he wants, really wants? Of course, he doesn't know. He's too young yet. But if you go and explore, what is it that you really want? He'll say, what I want is to be accepted as I am, not try to change me. Don't try to make me the way you want me to be, but to be myself and to love me just as I am. And that is unconditional love. Is that everybody is the way they are and to accept them as they are. And that also means that you're accepting yourself. So it goes both ways. The way you feel about yourself is the way you feel about another, and how you feel about others is how you feel about yourself.
So, I have a question. So, loving everything, does that mean that you have to like certain things? You know what I
See,
mean?
the whole point, yes, very, very good point. The point is, it's okay not to like something, but to give yourself the right not to like it, because it's everything is okay as it is. You see, it is that okayness that is the love.
Right. So it's unconditional love means
Yeah.
it's okay for you not to like certain things, be yourself completely and totally. That means that you can be angry, you can be sad, you can have these emotions and be okay with it.
That's right.
And one thing I would love to bring up here, because I work with energy, I'm an energy worker, and so I see everything as energy. So when we, according to unconditional love, I guess we can call it a law, right? Unconditional love.
Yeah.
When we identify in ourselves that we are not liking something, or we're feeling bad about something, or we're feeling angry in the moment, as soon as we pour love on it, as soon as we remember that we are love, that changes completely.
Completely. Yes.
That's unconditional
Yeah.
love.
That's unconditional love.
Mm-hmm.
So unconditional love has no picture in the way it should be. It is simply everything is okay as it is. And the moment you accept it, you accept yourself. It is that acceptance that is the love that you are. You see, it's not the way you should be, but it's okay. Like, so the way you pointed out is that what if I don't like something?
Mm-hmm.
You know, yeah, that's perfectly okay.
Mm-hmm.
You see, but I accept the fact that you don't like it because that's the way you're feeling at the moment. But there's nothing wrong in that. You see, so we all have preferences, and that is part of the expression of who we are.
Mm. So you're reminding me of something that people say to me often. Loving everything. I lost my train of thought just for a second. It'll come back. Give me a second. This happens to me because I get all this feeling. It's the idea of what we think love is that's confusing to people.
Oh, that's
right?
so beautiful.
What Burt and I are talking about is everything. Everything is interconnected, and life is love. So instead of seeing it as a small sort of, Valentine's heart and I love my daddy or my boyfriend or my children, that's beautiful love, and we can love each other unconditionally. But what about loving the sky and the earth and the universe, and how amazing this life is when you think about it, how everything flows so beautifully, like the birds in the sky. Everything is intelligent. And if we can just let go in love, then we realize it's okay. By not liking someone is okay. Not feeling good that day is okay. Not wanting to do what you want to do in the moment is okay. Someone not being happy with me is okay. That's all love. I've heard people say, well, do I have to love everything? And oh, you're a hippie because you're a flower child because you love everything. That to me is on a lower level. I'm talking about the biggest level.
That's right.
Did that make sense?
Oh, yes.
Okay, good.
Very much so, because we're talking about self-acceptance.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
that's what the self-worth is that you're worthy to be who you are, the way you are. The moment you accept yourself just as you are, good, bad, right, wrong, should, shouldn't, that doesn't, it doesn't matter. It doesn't, you allow yourself to be in the moment. See, when you don't allow yourself, that's when the problems come in. You know, feeling as if you're wrong, or you said something wrong, or am I going to be accepted? Embarrassment, for example. These feelings all come because somehow you're not accepting yourself. It is that as self-acceptance, which is the love we're talking about, not the way it should be.
Right.
You
Right.
see,
And is there a right or wrong in the highest of highs?
that's
love?
it. There is no right or wrong.
But we have to see it that way when we're in human form, right?
Yes.
In
Well,
some ways.
yeah. Well, what we call right and wrong is this: when something is wrong and we're looking at it, what is it that makes it wrong? It makes us unhappy. It makes us incomplete. It makes us feel uncomfortable. But the moment we look at it, we will find that we are robbing ourselves from being who we are, from relaxing with something, because we're putting conditions of how it should be. You see? And if we allow it to be the way it is, and it's okay, and you can laugh through it, there is no wrong in that. There is only that self-acceptance, which somehow there's got to be a better way of saying
Well,
it.
I want to look at the perspective of energy. What you're talking, that's the difference. Is when you look at everything as energy, so you know it's always going to be moving, always going to be changing.
Yeah.
Our minds want us to keep it here. I don't love myself. I don't feel good in this moment, thinking that this is the end. It's always going to be that way. But then we remember the big picture of God, love, the universe. We realize, well, this is just this moment. It's going to evolve. It's going to change. And then we remember, and that's love. It's tuning into the love, who we are.
That's right.
Unconditional love. So, okay, I feel like crap in this moment, but I know it's going to move and change.
Oh.
It's only for now, right?
Yes.
Yeah.
Beautiful. Yeah. So we go back to self-acceptance. You see? If you were to ask yourself, what is it the most important thing in life for me, to me? And you'll have to say that the most important thing in life for you is you. Getting to know you and accepting you just as you are. And that self-acceptance is love. And it has no conditions. There is no picture of the way it should be. You see, a child can say, I hate you, mommy. And it's wrong at the moment, but at the same time, the next moment says, I love you. So the child is not really hating at the moment. He's just being himself. Now, if we tell the child that's wrong, now he's beginning to think in terms of wrong, I shouldn't. And you stifle yourself from being. You see, and that's wrong, is thinking something is wrong. But when you realize that there is no wrong, it's all part of love flowing. That is the unconditional love.
I always liken it to just looking out at nature and the intelligence of life. Is a storm wrong, you know? Is it a tiger wrong for killing an antelope?
Yeah.
There is no wrong in this life. And sometimes we can say that, oh, I know I'm one, and, you know, all that stuff. But you don't really understand what you're saying sometimes. I know a lot of people say this. But what are you one with? You're one with the intelligence. That means you are part of the intelligence of the flow of this whole universe. So it's remembering that. And we're not going to always remember that. Believe me, we're not always going to remember that. Our father reminds us, or our children reminds us, or someone on the street reminds us. And it's okay that we forget. I mean, part of being human is amnesia. But that's why we're making these videos, and that's why there's so many people making so many beautiful videos, and I'm so grateful for that. And all the books that are being written, because people are feeling inspired.
There's so much beauty everywhere. Yes.
Oh, and people understand that to be in this form, to experience this life, we are supposed to share it.
Yes.
That's why there's so many wonderful books.
That's right. Yeah. Yeah. See, the phone is ringing now, and my instinct tells me, oh, go and answer it, Bert. But right now, I just want to keep on going with what we're doing here and exploring
Good
because
thing.
I'm enjoying.
That would look weird.
Yeah. And this is what brings enjoyment into the moment, is that everything is okay. You see?
It's all good.
It's all good. It's all good.
My favorite phrase, it's all good. You take an O out of that word.
Yeah.
It's all God.
Yeah.
Right? It's all
Right.
good.
It's all good. Yeah. Anyway, we'll leave you at that for today. This was just as it happened, and we wanted to share it with you. We love you. Okay. Bye bye.
Bye bye.